Okay then, John. So we look at the left-hand one as your before, so we call it. You can see with this sort of yellow line in, sort of your arm was sort of quite pinned in across your chest there, putting the left hand in quite a strong position, which actually will be quite strong relative to that position. And even when you put the right hand, probably even stronger, okay? Which is going to cause that big hooky one to the left there, okay? I think the toey ones is probably you almost trying to hold the face open to try and not hook it and just bringing the club in towards you. Then when you've got a few toey ones, you just got closer and closer to the golf ball. Then we're setting it with the hos of the golf club. And yeah, lots of combinations of three or four wrongs making a right. As you well know, it just goes... you'll hit one or two all right shots, but the majority shots are going to be very much hit and miss, okay? So using obviously the camera down the floor there, okay? When you set up, you want to try and get the sensation there. So you instinctively put it there. I would want to see it a little bit more that way, just leading down from that left shoulder as almost a straight line, and just let your left arm just hang down here rather than sort of pushing your arm across your chest and sort of cocking that wrist in, okay? You get very sort of like,
so it's sort of
just from there as if like you're holding a bag. I mean, from there now, then you put your arm there, and then this shoulder comes underneath, this shoulder drops, which then brings this hand underneath there, you see? So if a straight line from there now will be going straight through, as you can see on this one. Now when you get further back, let me see a little bit closer, there you go. So your hands still want to be back a little bit, then the ball goes further forward and just dropping that shoulder there. Okay, so that shoulder just dropping, that tilt brings this arm lower down, which means this arm can stay straighter. If you don't have the tilt, okay, your left arm having to be higher on the golf club has to bend in, you see, yeah? Because the left hand's got to be nearer to you, isn't it, yeah? So your right hand just drops underneath. Play, really. This is a triangle, this is a square. Fit that square to a circle, don't worry. Yeah. So your left, I think if your hands are level here, that's what it is. What most people do is this. They leave the right arm there and bring the left arm up and in, which then brings it across their chest. And again, if someone like yourself who's had some issues with maybe some chicken winging and flicking, all that kind of stuff, you try and bring your arm in for that connected feeling, but unfortunately we saw it's not going to...
Interestingly, Faldo's actually got a shot called the chicken wing.
Yeah. He plays that's his sort of like low fadey kind of like he did that with me and my golf, wasn't it? Yeah, I saw that one, yeah. So handle there, you can see that's kind of the setup there, which again neutralises your grip. You want to put your hands back there as we were showing you that's kind of where you want it. Club face obviously square. Get a nice kind of lead arm extended down there, okay? Then we shuffle back on the way. You can see on this one here now, when you set up, you kind of walk backwards. So the ball position is correct there. But even with the square mat, when you set yourself up, you can see now how you've aimed yourself out to the right. You kind of look at the camera, but you kind of gone, I'm looking at the camera, and then you put the golf ball down, which gives the impression on this one that the ball is back in the stands. It wasn't. I mean, if your alignment's kind of over there, the ball's in the right spot. But obviously looking at the camera, because the camera's facing this way, it looks like it's back. So just be mindful of that when you're on the golf, because obviously your alignment, I think instinctively will set up. If ball's hooking, you're going to aim right. that's fairly obvious, okay? If we can get the grip better and your lead arm in a more kind of that way, okay, the hook will reduce. And again, hitting a draw is nice. I mean, don't mind it a little bit right to left or a bit left to right. For me, it's always that side spin number being under sort of, ideally under 500, okay, under 750. When it starts getting the teens, it's like, whoa, you've got a big slinger coming on there, okay? With shorter clubs, it will be a bit high because there's a lot of backspin anyway, but 7s and 6 and 5s, we don't up in sort of the teens there, okay? But in terms of swing there now, as you come back to the golf ball, if I can just slow, it's too quick for me. There we go. So impact is there. Your hands now, the middle of your hands, they're there. Not too bad. Could be better. However, you compare where your hands were impact here now. You're going to think I've stopped this too early, but the ball is actually the next frame there. Okay, that ball is starting to go. You see the blur there. That there's the ball about to be hit. Right. Look where your hands are. I mean, that's just it's almost impressive how you're making contact, but by being that far back here,
towed it onto the green.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you think you're increasing that distance, okay. I mean, if the lead arm was kind of here, and we'll call that 1.5 meters, if you then go 1 meter that way and then 0.5 meter that way, the club's not going to reach the golf ball.
And that's exactly what those last two tops were then.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why you're going to toe end some shots as well, because you're starting here and you're back here. Well, the club just can't reach the golf ball. Now, you bring your arm up and away, the angle from shoulder to golf ball is now going to become a lot greater, which means...
But really, the club is starting...
Yeah, the club starts there, and from there, you just slide your right hand down the leg. Yeah, there you go. So your hands feel a little bit more towards that left leg, and this shoulder feels a little bit higher, okay? Because if that club is now at setup, as we're seeing here now, reaches the ground, if you put your hands back here, that club can't reach the ground. I mean, you have to really drop yourself down to reach it. So what happened is you end up catching the toe end of the club. Probably your instinct, sort of unconscious response, John, was to stand nearer the ball and stand up from the heel of the club. It kind of worked on occasions, but you saw the consistency of strike was nowhere near where you want to be. That was a lovely strike. And I think you'll have to just overcome the, not fear, but the worry of hooking it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to hook it anymore. Well, not as much, to be fair. You're able to square that club face up. That look, I look for launch on that one. 19.9. So that to me is kind of your ideal shot. 140 carry, 339 side spin, the magical team launch angle with a 7, and a good shot. Yeah, good amount of backspin for a 7.9 there. I mean, 7,000 is kind of tall standard, so you're only 800 short of them.
Yeah.
So percentage-wise, that's not a lot, really.
No.
Some good numbers there. It's going to have a tendency to want to go right because you've seen a golf ball just going and whipping across your left shoulder.
And clearly my nemesis then is that, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. But if you start with your hand across it now anyway, it's going to encourage that more. So, get that lead arm more in line. Very good, buddy. Okay, mate?